Hi, everybody. So let's take a look at our first personal narrative writing lesson. So please make sure that you check Canvas for instructions on how to open this document and how to submit it, because that will kind of explain what you need to do with how to share the link, how to access the link that needs to be shared, and how to open this document. So on the first page, you're going to type in your name where it says student name. I'm going to type in my test student name, which is my dog's name, Bo Vance. Please don't type in my dog's name for your name. Make sure you type in your own name. The next page is the what is a personal narrative. This all comes from that video that you watched last week. It's all already done for you, so you don't need to do it again. It just has all of those points that were discussed in that video. Today, we are going to talk about lessons 2 and 3. So lesson 2 is personal narrative topics. Lesson 3 is small moments. So these are the only 2 pages that we're going to be talking about today. So these are the only 2 pages that you need to have completed in your notebook. So lesson 2 is about personal narrative topics. So for each of the categories, you are going to try to come up with at least one topic that you could write about. So a birthday celebration, that could be your birthday or somebody else's birthday, a family vacation, a school memory, a new sibling or pet. If you don't have any siblings or you don't have any pets and there's nothing that you can think of for this, you can leave it blank. Meeting someone new, trying something new, accomplishments. This could be like an award you won, or winning a game, or mastering something. Funny moments and embarrassing moments. If there are any that you cannot think of anything for, you can't think of any topics for it, that's okay, you can skip it. But try to think of at least one topic for each category. You can think of more than one topic, of course. You can fill up the entire box with topic ideas, but try to think of at least one for each category. If you think of others that don't really fit into any of the categories, you can type them into the other memorable moments. Also in the other memorable moments, you are going to type your secret word for the day, which is explore. You'll type the word explore into the other memorable moments box as well. So for your next page, you're going to pick 3 of your topics, so 3 potential topics that you came up with, and you're going to turn them into small moments. So when we're writing a personal narrative, it's important that we choose a small moment that we can zoom in and focus on. Small moments allow us to focus our story on a specific moment in time, and we can get really, really descriptive about that. We're going to think of 3 topics or moments that we'd be interested in writing about, and these will be topics from the previous page. And we're going to focus each topic into a small moment and then an even smaller moment. So it gave us this example of a trip to the beach. A smaller moment would be playing in the ocean, and even smaller would be catching a perfect wave. So an example that I could give might be about when my niece was adopted. Now, if I told you the entire story of how my niece was adopted, that would be like a 2-year-long period of time. It would be a whole lot of things. It would either be really long, or I wouldn't be able to get very descriptive, and I wouldn't be able to get very descriptive about anything. So it's not going to be a great idea. It's not going to be a great plan to write about that entire thing. So I want to make that moment smaller. So I'm going to write about the first time I met my niece. That's just one day, right? The first time that I met her was one day. That was the first day that I got to spend with her. But even that's kind of a lot. I could tell you about the very, very first time that I met her. I could tell you about the first time that she gave me a hug. I could tell you about, taking her to Disneyland. I could tell you about driving home from Disneyland with her. And that would still be quite a bit. I want to try to find something even smaller than that. So the first day that we met my niece, we took her to Disneyland. My niece was 4 when she was adopted, so Disneyland was really exciting for her, and she'd never been there before. So I could think of a moment that happened while we were at Disneyland. So maybe it would be watching the fireworks with my niece. She'd never seen the fireworks before. She'd never been to Disneyland. She never even lived near Disneyland before. So it was a really special moment and a really important time. And that's only about like a 20 or 30 minute period of time. So our big moment is kind of a bigger event, right? When my niece was adopted, that's like a 2 year long period. A smaller moment, the first time that I met her, was one day. An even smaller moment was just a couple minutes. The other example that it gave us is a trip to the beach and then playing in the ocean and catching the perfect wave. And a trip to the beach may last a day or two. You may have played in the ocean for a couple of hours, but catching the perfect wave was maybe only about 10 or 15 minutes. So for the 3 moments, you're going to fill in 3 of your topic choices. Then for each of them, you're going to make them smaller, and then even smaller. So rather than thinking about it as making your sentences smaller, try to think about the time period. Can you make that time period smaller? As always, if you run into any questions or if you have any problems or if anything happens at all, please let me know. I'm happy to help as much as I can, but remember that you do need to ask. If you don't ask, I don't know. So please make sure that you're asking for help whenever you need it, especially with this assignment, because I know that there are going to be questions and I know that it might be a little bit tricky. So please let me know if you run into any questions or any problems.